Hey there, my friends. How's everyone doing today on this fine afternoon? Man, it is sunny and warm in Portland. I just got done sitting in traffic for a half hour to get home from work, and it's perfect now. Just perfect out here. I'm, I feel like sometimes I'm one of the last YouTubers to just sit and talk to the camera. I used to follow a lot of channels that were kind of like my own, where it was just a person talking, and eventually they all became edited and or had a lot of clickbait titles or overlays of several pictures rather than just being a real talk. And I'm not talking myself up. Here come the fucking sirens on cue. I'd love to make videos outside, but because of that, I can't. And every summer, it's the same thing. Like, I come outside and I start a video and the sirens start up. I've complained about that a million times, but at any rate, happy solstice. That was my really main point to starting this video. I wanted to say happy solstice. I honestly cannot believe it's already the summer solstice. And I know most people are aware of what that is, but I know that a percentage of you probably do not know what the solstice actually is. And for those people, the winter solstice is the shortest day of the year, and the summer solstice is the longest day of the year, having to do with the tilt of the earth and how long it faces the sun. The funny thing is that last night, when I realized, oh my god, it's the solstice, I felt like it was like a couple months away. I had no idea it was already summer. It is so weird. In Portland here, it's been raining for like, all month. We've had like the rainiest June I can remember. And last year at this time, we were having our 115 degree freaking heat wave, which just was horrendous. And I'm happier with a little rain than I am with a heat wave like that. But I've learned to just kind of take the weather as it comes. We all do, because the weather is the weather. You're not going to be able to manipulate it by getting angry about it, even though some people do believe that they can with their cloud busters and their chemtrail things. That's a totally different topic. But at any rate, I feel that it's a great metaphor for how we should just deal with life in general, in the sense that we may be we may have no control over the weather. So therefore, if it's rainy one day, if it's sunny one day, if it rains on our parade, so to speak, what do? There's nothing you can do. You can complain about it. You can say, oh, damn rain, but people just get sick of hearing about it. They don't want to hear about the problems with the weather because everyone else has to deal with the weather too. So you just kind of say, oh, well, you move along. Knowing that tomorrow it'll probably be better. And I find this kind of, to kind of compare it to, let me back up for a minute. So I made a video yesterday, for example, and I was talking about, or maybe it was a post, I don't recall, but somebody left a comment that related to experiences, because I said that I believe experiences are the most important thing in our lives. And they mentioned something about working towards goals was important. And I did some thinking about that at work today. It just, sometimes I hear an idea or a comment or discussion. I'll tell you that my subscribers, you guys, the people who may be leaving a comment right now, those are the comments that inspire me to make future videos. And I just want to take a minute to say thank you. I appreciate it. I have learned a lot. There are some subscribers of mine that I'm just like, wow, and in awe at the level of intelligence and, the ability for people to really use the language to express their ideas in a way that's coherent and without using overly large words to sound important or just totally layman terms that we all know, really exploring topics that are complicated, like what is the purpose of life, for example. And that's where I think kind of the discussion about experiences came in. And my discussion and my argument against the idea that goals were important was that I know exactly where they're coming from, because We're often taught to set goals, complete those goals, and they bring happiness. I think that that is good, but the question I asked was, what if your goal is more experiences? And I want to kind of clarify that here because I think it's crucial. When we have experiences in life, we remember them. And I tell my kids this way. If I say, hey, let's take a walk to the park, and they're like, oh, I don't want to go, playing video games or watching TV. And I look at them and I say, hey, look, honestly, I don't really want to go either. But we need to go. Because once we get out of the house and we get to the park, we'll wander around, we'll have a good time, we'll come home, and we will remember it next week. And we'll remember it the week after. Hell, we might even remember that one trip to the park a year or two later. If an experience happens at home, a common experience, you generally don't remember when it happened, or, it doesn't even occur to you to remember these things. My point being that memory is so crucial because, and this was kind of it coalesced in this idea of when you are old, when you're elderly, and when you are in your late stages of life. And correct me if I'm wrong, if you are old, correct me if I'm wrong here. Old sounds so bad, it's not meant to be offensive. But if you are, say over the age of 75, and which I doubt many of my viewers are, or even in your late 60s, I would imagine that the most important thing at that point is memories and relationships. And this is why when we get old and bitter and we have no one, it makes us more bitter. Or if we get old and lose our minds and forget who we are, that's like probably the most devastating. It's even worse than having somebody who's angry or hostile or violent even. To have a, let's say, parent or a friend or sibling or somebody who actually forgets who they are. It's probably, I know a lot of people, I've done a lot of thinking and meditating on death, if you will. And it's inevitable. So one day we're all going to die, okay? So you get that past. It's a little harder to get past the idea of what if I forget who I am one day? And to have some sort, any type of, not Parkinson's, but old, what is it called? Now I can't even remember. I'm having a brain fart here, but an old man's sickness. It's a joke. I'll remember it in a bit, but anyway, you know what I'm talking about. There are many different conditions which cause us to lose our memories and make it difficult to make new memories, and it's always fascinating to me. And the point of why I've kind of expanded on that so much is because it proves to me that experiences and memories are what's most important. That people get so upset and are so devastated by either forgetting things in their own life or those who they love forgetting. Imagine if and many of you may have not experienced any, I've never experienced anyone who has, any of these conditions that, memory loss. But imagine if your spouse, your husband or wife, lost the ability to remember who you are. I mean, I cannot imagine anything more tragic than living with my wife and having her not know who I am every day and freaking out on me and thinking I'm a stranger. These are things that happen to people every day. And so I'm using, I guess, that as a way to express where I'm coming from on experiences being the most important. If you have an experience and you lose your memory, then you lose your memory. But I don't think that setting goals is going to necessarily help us unless the goal is to have more experiences, because ultimately our brains are more triggered by the experiences we have than anything else. I think I've probably said the word experience 100 times in this video. I gotta let my dog in the house real quick. But yeah, it is what it is, right? I mean, we all have a different opinion on what it means to be alive and what is the most important factor of being a human. And the reason why this is important to me even though I realize I've been rambling for several minutes and not really made any major points. When I make videos like this, I just kind of hope, it's like philosophizing live and hoping that I'll be able to process some ideas and come to new conclusions just by speaking out loud. It's like a journalism that leads to my own insights. And at any rate, that's enough for this ramble, and I'll talk to you next time. Have a wonderful day. Have some good experiences. Get out and go to the park. Do some shit. That's all. Oh, I want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, me. This video is brought to you by me. Me, and my ideas, and nothing else. Gotta throw that in every time. Dollar Shave Club.